थोड़ा हिंदी और इंग्लिश मिक्स करके बोलूँगा. So on behalf of AKRSP, I must thank IRMA first that no, they not only invited us for experience sharing, but since ICID was initiated, we were like one of the close partners with ICID, and from time to time we keep getting inputs. So it's both way. We also keep giving inputs and we also keep getting inputs. So when sir was saying about ecosystems, then I realized that we also exported Shubha from AKRSP to ICID. So this is how ecosystem keeps building. Your people keeps growing, and this is how your institutions keeps growing. So yeah. So thanks to IRMA once again. Regarding this National Entrepreneurship Award, NEA. So I must say that गवर्नमेंट को हम बहुत सारी बात समझते हैं कि ब्यूरोक्रेटिक प्रोसेस है, नॉन ट्रांसपेरेंट है, लेकिन दिस इज वन अवार्ड इन फैक्ट आई रियलाइज्ड दैट देर इज नो पैरेलल एक्चुअली इन द कंट्री in the way that you find entrepreneurs coming from Bastar in Chhattisgarh to some small village in Jammu and Kashmir to someone near Thrissur in Kerala. So I was so amazed that how these people are able to find people from such length and breadth of the country that otherwise in this fancy world of incubation where PPTs and Excel sheets and how to pronounce entrepreneurship or enterprise, that becomes the key criteria of selecting people. But here actually we see, I mean, kind of entrepreneurs coming with the women, Dalits, tribals, so many tribals from northeast, sir, very small villages. So they actually came on dais and received award from ministry. So that really, I mean, that created a kind of respect for this award in our mind. So it's not about AKRSP, but we keep getting awards. So, but those kind of people who are really making some difference on the ground, they got award, and I was really surprised to notice that how these partners, mostly academic and research institutions like IRMA and IITs, they are doing fantastic job of finding out entrepreneurs from such hinter locations of the country. So which otherwise I don't think if ministry had given it to, yesterday we were talking about Grant Thornton and other kind of institutions. So I'm really not sure if they can find out those kind of entrepreneurs from the grassroots. So this is, I think, one of the key major highlight of this award, that they really find out very motivating real entrepreneurs from the grassroots and from all regions of the country, all smaller, even the union territories which are very small in nature, from there also there were winners. So that is really a very heartening thing to notice. Of course, when we went for receiving the award, couple of humorous things also happened with us. So they said that we want to take interview of you. So I said, okay, fine. The first question they posed me was, why did you decide to put up a enterprise in logistics sector? I was like, how to answer this? I said, I know nothing about logistics. We are just a very small NGO promoting enterprises in some villages in Gujarat, MP and Bihar. I don't know anything about logistics. So then they said, but it's written here that you have done something about logistics sector. so then I think there was some mismatch, So they messed up with the list, and so with each of the entrepreneurs, they just mixed up with the kind of enterprises they have put up. So that was really like a very funny moment in that whole event. Yeah, so that things apart, yeah. So now I will focus on what actually we are doing. So many of you might be knowing AKRSP for a long time, and we are known for NRM, agriculture, participatory irrigation management, joint forest management, that kind of work. And we are pioneer in that kind of work, and we continue to do that kind of work. But I can now proudly say that, uh, I mean, the current generation in AKRSP, if something we have done, then this is the enterprise work which we have started. So the new generation which is coming up in AKRSP, they really believe that apart from collectives, we also look at group enterprises, we also look at women-led enterprises, we also look at uh, enterprises led by Dalits, tribals, minorities, that kind of sections. So I would say that new generation has this contribution to AKRSP. Maybe around 3 to 4 years ago, we had this idea that our country has so many big businessmen coming from various sections of the society. So if you take name of any community, maybe it is any caste or even Muslims, you will find that there are billionaires. But if we come to tribals, there are hardly anyone we can count on our fingers that whether they have a turnover of even 10 crores, except some politicians or who are having gas agencies or petrol pumps. But real entrepreneurs, we really do not have in tribal communities. So it's not that talent is not there, it's that that ecosystem is not there. And we have not recognized that talent, the kind of products or services they can offer. We have never looked at them systematically. So that might be one of the lacuna in our system, that we just neglected that particular section. So we thought, why don't we just focus on the strength of tribal communities, which is like pure products, natural products, organic, crafts. So there are so many strengths which are there in tribal areas, but somehow we could not build on those strengths. So we started this program, which is known as Tribal Youth Initiative, and under that we started promoting some youth, particularly from tribal communities, to look at enterprise as the option. So after 3-4 years, we have several successful examples. Of course, there are some failures, but there are examples like maybe in Dangs there is Rajubai. Okay, so Rajubai now owns a factory of bamboo products. He is based in very remote location in Dangs, which is considered very remote district in Gujarat and very poor district. Right now he is employing around 20 to 23 artisans in his own workshop. So, and his turnover is reaching anywhere near 30 lakhs now. He has already diversified his product portfolio. So earlier very small bamboo products he was producing from the family level, but now there are crafts, there are furniture, sofas, everything, and they are well market linked. Now we are trying to link them to formal financial systems. So, and that has happened because of several players working together. So of course we don't know anything about much about the bamboo sector, but we got experts from bamboo sector to work with him. We got best of the best consultants to advise us on kind of machinery is required, the kind of treatment required for the products, the design of products, which is also very important. So we engaged several people. Of course then Irma was there, motivate, write case studies about him. I think he also attended training. So, and we also provided some seed funding, which was very critical. So when these all players came together, he is now doing that excellent job. So we have that kind of entrepreneurs. We have several other examples like a millet-based bakery, which is doing really well now. So initially they were struggling, but yesterday only I came to know that their turnover, this is owned by a group of 3-4 women, tribal women again, and they are producing all products only made out of millets, which are nutritious, which can command premium in the market. And yesterday only I came to know that their turnover is also now closing on 10 lakh rupees. So again a very heartwarming story of those women. So these are kind of institutions. Then we have a separate set of enterprises which we call rural service providers, which are large in numbers. So if you look at rural areas, still there are absent market for many inputs. So very simple basic thing like irrigation. So in Bihar, if you go to Bihar, if someone is from Bihar, is fortunate to have lot of groundwater. So if you go to 10 feet or 20 feet down the surface, there is abundant groundwater because of Ganga river, and every year there is flood. So water is there, but unfortunately there is no power which can irrigate the farmers' field. So people still keeps on depending on the diesel pumps. So UMI, Tata and AKRSP together, we came out with the concept of irrigation service providers. And these irrigation service providers are now highly successful in terms like these are solar pump owners who put up 5 to 7 HP pump in villages, and they provide irrigation services to anywhere between 50 to 100 farmers. And they charge for their services, they are highly profitable. So they make anywhere between 10,000 to 15,000 rupees per month as the net profit, because there is no operational cost. So this is for entrepreneurs who is owning the pump, but for those who are purchasing the water from this service provider, so they are benefited in a way that their irrigation cost per hectare has gone down by almost 70%. Okay. So this is huge. So UMI Tata is already conducting research on this, and we found that in the first village where this model was started, the crop intensity has already gone by twice. And there is diversification to dairy, horticulture, many other things. So in a way, this service provider model, like providing irrigation through such models, enterprise mode rather than just looking at the big cooperatives or looking at the AKRSP directly providing services, this model is working really well. There is another one I will give last example is Pashu Sakhis. Pashu Sakhis are again micro entrepreneurs in a setup like tribal areas or Bihar, where we hardly have presence of veterinary department. No, we hardly get the livestock rearers hardly get any services like deworming, vaccinations, castrations, feed, that kind of services. So we have trained this cadre of around 500 women who have become para-veterinarians. So what they do is they just provide these services to households and they charge for their services. So they charge for every deworming they do on the ground, every vaccination they do on the ground, castration, all kind of things they charge. And they make around 5 to 6,000 rupees per month. But in this process, every Pashu Sakhi reach around 200 households. Okay, so 200 households who are rearing goats or poultry, not the large animals. But the impact is that in the goat sector where the services are absent, in place like Bihar, the mortality was around 42%, sir. Within 2 years, the mortality rates in goats has come down to 5 to 6%. Yeah. This huge improvement. Yesterday I was telling in the story of FPO that now these women have come together to form collective enterprise in the form of FPC. And not only these services, now they are linking their goats to market. They are providing many other services like credit facilities to livestock rearers. So they are reaching a next level. And in terms of impact, so one is mortality has reduced. So their herd size, so around 4 to 5 goat was there per household. Now they have around 10 goats per household. So asset size itself has increased. So income has doubled. So in a way, so the markets which are absent, and if we put such micro entrepreneurs on the ground, they can really transform this sector in terms of irrigation or livestock, where the small livestock is totally neglected in our country. So we have NDDB in large animals, dairy animals. But we do not have any parallel for goats or poultry or backyard poultry. So we need to seriously think that the enterprise can transform the rural areas if it is done well. So that is how AKRSP is planning. What next we are trying to do is, so only couple of things. One is whatever award we got, this 10 lakh rupees clearly visible on the check. So we have not used it for our own purpose. What we are doing is we are putting up a seed fund for entrepreneurs from marginalized communities, from villages. So this money, plus we will put some of our own money. If anyone else want to donate, they are welcome. So ultimately our idea is to put up money of around 1 crore rupees as the fund, which will be used primarily for tribal areas and the entrepreneurs from marginalized communities. So they can take this fund free of interest. So it will be kind of a seed fund where the entrepreneur is not under pressure to give high returns. It will be interest free. Only thing is we are thinking that the entrepreneur should be sound. He or she should be motivated to actually work for long, and the enterprise has to be beneficial to the society. So it cannot be very extractive kind of thing or non-sustainable, environmentally non-sustainable product or service. So those kind of entrepreneurs can reach us. We have already identified 2-3 initial beneficiaries for this fund, and we are working with them. But I mean, we want to make this more systematic. So in a way, when the fund will grow, we want a committee where IRMA can also participate. That how to screen entrepreneurs, how to shortlist, how to fund, how to moderate this fund. So that is one thing. The second we are very seriously thinking is how we integrate design principles for the products which are created by rural entrepreneurs. So what happens is our rural communities come out with very beautiful products, but sometimes the product is not designed as per human need or as the need of clients. So how we provide some basic trainings to rural entrepreneurs that how they interact with clients, how they modify their product offerings or service offerings to make it more market suitable. So these two things. Second thing, we are still not clear how we integrate design thinking and how we train actually, because design thinking is all is very fancy thing which keeps on doing in trainings, but for grassroots people, how we use the same principles but some different training methods, maybe some action oriented things rather than trainings. So these are two things we are planning. Thank you.